Few video game franchises have reinvented themselves as boldly, as often, and as successfully as Final Fantasy. What began as a last-ditch project by a struggling Japanese developer has grown into one of the most influential RPG series of all time, shaping storytelling, music, visuals, and even how we define the role-playing genre itself. Today, we're diving deep into the evolution of Final Fantasy, from its 8-bit origins to cinematic epics, online worlds, and bold action RPG experiments. The original Final Fantasy was developed by Square at a time when the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. Director Hironobu Sakaguchi believed this would be his final game, hence the name. Released on the NES, Final Fantasy introduced turn-based combat, a party system, elemental magic, and a high fantasy world inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. Players selected 4 Warriors of Light and embarked on a quest to restore balance to the world's elemental crystals. While simple by modern standards, the game stood out thanks to its sense of scale, world exploration, and especially Nobuo Uematsu's music, which instantly became iconic. The game's success not only saved Square, but laid the foundation for an entire genre. Instead of building directly on the original's mechanics, Square took a massive risk. Final Fantasy II abandoned traditional leveling in favor of a stat growth through use system. Characters improved based on how they fought. Using magic increased MP, taking damage increased HP, and so on. Narratively, the series also took a leap forward. This was the first Final Fantasy with named protagonists, political conflict, and permanent character deaths. Though divisive, FFII showed Square's willingness to experiment. Final Fantasy III refined the series' identity by introducing the job system, allowing players to switch classes like Black Mage, Dragoon, or Summoner on the fly. This mechanic would go on to become one of the franchise's most beloved features. FF3 also expanded the scale of the world and dungeon design, pushing the NES hardware to its limits. With the jump to the Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy evolved dramatically. Final Fantasy IV introduced the Active Time Battle ATB system, blending turn-based combat with real-time urgency. More importantly, it focused heavily on character-driven storytelling. Cecil's journey from Dark Knight to Paladin explored themes of redemption, guilt, and identity, concepts rarely seen in games at the time. Final Fantasy V leaned more into gameplay depth than narrative. It expanded the job system, allowing abilities from different classes to be combined, offering unprecedented customization. While its story was lighter in tone, the mechanical depth made FF5 a fan favorite among RPG purists. Often considered one of the greatest games ever made, Final Fantasy VI represented the peak of 2D RPG design. Featuring a massive cast of characters, a villain who actually succeeds in destroying the world, and emotionally heavy themes like loss, identity, and despair, FF6 proved video games could deliver storytelling on par with novels and films. Kefka's descent into madness remains one of gaming's most iconic villain arcs. Final Fantasy VII changed gaming forever. Released on the original PlayStation, FF7 used 3D character models, pre-rendered backgrounds, and full-motion video to deliver a cinematic experience unlike anything before it. Cloud Strife, Sephiroth, and the dystopian city of Midgar became pop culture icons. Themes of environmentalism, identity, trauma, and corporate greed resonated globally. The game's success exploded Final Fantasy's popularity outside Japan, cementing it as a worldwide phenomenon. Rather than play it safe, Square once again reinvented the formula. Final Fantasy VIII introduced the controversial junction system, tying stats to magic instead of levels. Its more realistic character designs, sci-fi aesthetic, and romantic storyline marked a tonal shift for the series. Though divisive, FF8 showcased Square's refusal to stagnate. Final Fantasy IX served as a nostalgic love letter to the series' roots. Returning to medieval fantasy, classic job archetypes, and a whimsical art style, it balanced charm with surprisingly dark themes about mortality and purpose. For many fans, FFIX represents the emotional heart of the franchise. Final Fantasy X marked several major milestones: fully voiced characters, a fully 3D world, and a more linear narrative structure. Set in the world of Spira, the story explored faith, sacrifice, and the cost of tradition. The sphere grid system replaced standard leveling, offering deep customization. It was also the first Final Fantasy to receive a direct sequel. Square took a huge risk by turning Final Fantasy into an MMORPG. Final Fantasy XI brought the franchise into the online space, blending classic FF elements with persistent multiplayer worlds. It ran for over 2 decades, influencing every online Final Fantasy that followed. Inspired by Western RPGs and MMOs, FF12 introduced semi-real-time combat through the Gambit system, allowing players to program party behavior. Its political narrative and open-zone world design marked another bold shift in direction. Final Fantasy XIII focused on cinematic presentation and fast-paced combat, but faced criticism for its linearity and complex lore. Despite mixed reception, Square doubled down with 2 sequels, making 13 the only numbered entry with a full trilogy. Originally launched to critical failure, Final Fantasy XIV is one of gaming's greatest comeback stories. Rebuilt from the ground up as A Realm Reborn, it evolved into one of the most beloved MMORPGs ever, praised for its storytelling, music, and community. After a decade-long development cycle, FF15 delivered a real-time action combat system and an open world focused on brotherhood and loss. Though unfinished at launch, it marked Final Fantasy's full transition into action RPG territory. Final Fantasy XVI fully embraced action combat, darker medieval themes, and mature storytelling inspired by political fantasy. With a single protagonist focus in cinematic boss battles, it represents Square's boldest reimagining yet. Meanwhile, the Final Fantasy VII Remake project continues to reinterpret the franchise's most iconic entry, blending nostalgia with modern design. Final Fantasy's evolution isn't about perfection, it's about reinvention. No matter the era, the platform, or the gameplay style, Final Fantasy has always chased ambition over comfort. And that willingness to change is exactly why, nearly 4 decades later, the series remains one of gaming's most legendary names. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which Final Fantasy era is your favorite.